Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We're here to help you see the new you. My name is Michelle Mras, and welcome to Mental Shift. Good evening to the United States and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 28. For more than 30 years, my guest has successfully supported government agencies, corporations, and academia as a quality and mission assurance QMA leadership strategist, professional coach and consultant, workshop facilitator, and professional development trainer. She is a groundbreaking aerospace engineer who soared to become the first woman to hold the position of Director of Safety and Mission Assurance out of the Marshall Space Flight Center. NASA. Transformed from a young African-American girl who was told by her teacher that she would not amount to much, Goodson uses her unstoppable can-do spirit to inspire others to achieve their goals, regardless of their obstacles. Please welcome my guest, Dr. Amanda Goodson.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you were able to, visit with me and everybody out here in TV land and podcast land and all the other lands they're streaming from, because I wanted to share your story. There are so many people in our younger lives, when we're kids, we get told things and we ingrain them into our minds and we don't let them go. And they hold us back for the rest of our lives. And when I heard your story, and knowing you came from the South and all of the things that were happening to you, it's like, we need Dr. Amanda on this show, because you're the epitome of mental shift, because you mentally shifted as a child. You didn't wait till you were 50. You didn't wait. You took action. Can you share that bit of the story that you shared with me about being the young African-American girl and where you were and that atmosphere?
Yeah, young African-American girl in Decatur, Alabama. I grew up in Alabama. And when I was in school, my teachers, they did not think that I would be successful. And I remember in my middle school, my teacher said that. And later on, when I became the director of safety and mission assurance at NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, he said, I didn't think that she would make it. And so I was told over and over again, girls, don't do that. You won't be successful. Don't go after that. And there was something in me that just would not listen to what they had to say, because there was something greater that needed to, like you said, shift and come out.
That is phenomenal. So for those of you who are listening right now, did you have an experience like that? Did someone that you respected, someone older than you, that said, you cannot, and you ingrained it into you? And now as an adult, you're doing, can I? What I want you to do is look back at that day and realize that that was a human who didn't know what they were saying. They didn't know your potential. They were grading you. You've heard that expression. You can't judge a fish by how well it climbs a tree. You are not, they were judging you from a little girl by color and by your sex and what you were able to accomplish because of what the world was happening at that time. Don't allow what other people think restrict you. And as Dr. Amanda said, she knew there was something bigger. You must believe in you. You must believe that there's something bigger in you. And when someone tells you you can't, and in your gut you know you can, don't listen to them. Do it. Seek it. Dr. Amanda, you were the first Black woman in that too, right? So you have jumped so many hurdles, and you kind of skipped through it. You went from childhood to propulsion engineer, but there are more things, because as a woman in engineering, I remember that being quite the challenge in itself, because it was such a man's world. Now, how did you deal with that? Did you have issues in that world?
So I did when I went to college, went to Tuskegee University, and I was one of very few women that majored in engineering. I remember my first summer intern job. I worked at a nuclear plant, actually, and I remember some of the men saying to me, women are not supposed to be engineers, and I didn't know that in my heart. I heard what they said, and my brain got it, but my heart didn't. And so, so I followed my heart. And I remember in college, in school with these young men, I tell you what, they were pretty kind to me. Some of them, okay, you're a girl and you're going to be an engineer. You're going to do what? And I had others, they embraced it and they accepted me. We would study together, so it was quite the ride, but it was really, really worth it.
Yes. And I can attest to that, because I was an engineer at University of Nebraska. And the students weren't my problem. It was the professors that were my problem. And, there'd be 2,000 engineering students, they'd have 2 females. And so we were the ones who always had to answer all the questions up front and then chastised if we were wrong. And what was cool about it is the other engineering students would do, can you teach me that? And I'd always have, little study groups of teaching everybody else things. And so I know people don't realize it, but the engineering world has shifted a lot. And with STEM and all of that, there are so many more integrations of women and races and you name it in the engineering field and the STEM fields. And it's beautiful. But back when we were going to school, or when I was going to school, or when you were going to school, it was a rarity. And so I love to see the progression. And so not only are you did what you did with NASA, you are a trailblazer for other women to go into that field. And, I get giggly around you because I'm like, oh, you're one of the people that made me realize it could happen. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to go. I wanted to build things. And my heart told me, you want to build things. And when I was told, you can't do this. You can't work 4 jobs and be an engineering student. You can't. What I found is it wasn't engineering. It was people. I like people, building people. So when I do my coaching, I see them as structures. And I don't understand how I do it. I do the same thing with Six Sigma. I see it as people. And so I use my engineering background to build my coaching career. And I'm sure you do the same thing with your coaching and training. Everything is a structure. Everything needs platforms, wiggle room, and in a series. Do you find yourself doing that?
I do. Like you said, yeah, it's about people. I see things as a strategy, and then how do I plug into the strategy, or how do I help a person to become better and re-engineer the way they think? And that's very, very important, Michelle. I know you know this well. We want people to think differently because I find that people don't think broad and don't think big. And then as we unfold the layers, they can see that they're amazing. They can do amazing things. It's like building a house. Sometimes we build a house and we choose a roof first in our minds. Nope, let's do the foundation. What's your vision? What are you hoping to become? What are you seeing yourself as being? And then I love doing reverse planning. And that's certainly an engineering and a Six Sigma concept, and help them to reverse plan to where they are now. Are you doing the right things? What do you need to do more of? What do you need to do less of? What do you need to learn to help you to get to that future state that you see for yourself? It's work, and it's worth it. That's what I believe.
It is. And that's the other part of it. Was when we were talking earlier, I've met so many people in my coaching world, my coaching career, as I'm coaching people and training and speaking, that people do, well, I'm not doing that anymore. So this is what I'm doing, and this is what I know. And like you and I both do the whole structure thing. Everything you learned in your past can be applied. Pull things that worked well and reapply it to your new world, because you're in a whole new world now. What do you do now, Dr. Amanda?
So I'm writing. I write books, also training and coaching. And then I develop programs for people to do better. A program that I'm working on now is called TLC, Teams, Leaders, and Change, to advance and accelerate women in STEM. Actually is what I'm looking to do right now. I just really enjoy teaching. I enjoy talking to people and helping them to think differently and going down in the gut and pulling out purpose and exploiting it and allowing it to soar.
Fantastic. And it's all about building from the blocks they have. Don't build your house on sand. You've got to build it on your concrete blocks, on the big blocks that you know are in you. And that's what I meet people who are like, I'm transitioning to something new. I'm doing something new. I don't want to look back at what I did. And it's like, you learned from what you did. What did you learn that you can apply now so you can be the best version of you in that field and separate and different from everybody else? What do you bring to the table? What you bring to the table is what your qualities are from your past. And oh, real quick, oh my goodness, a lot of people are saying hi here.
Hello, everybody.
Colleen says hi. Jeray Harmon says hello and excited for the interview. Sharon Womble King saying hi.
Hi.
Sharon made it on. And Christine Joy, Mayor Duran says hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And and Alyssa says, hi, Dr. G. If you are watching, and you are, because I'm saying your names, I'd like you to share this live link. For those of you who know either one of us, you know that Dr. Amanda is quite someone people need to meet and understand and listen to, because so many people need that inside out structure built. They need to see what she does and understand that what you come from does not create who you are. You can develop into who you are. What other people say you are is not who you are. Who you are is what you know you are. And Dr. Amanda is the perfect example of it.
Thanks, Michelle. That's so kind.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. I'm kind of giddy. I'm not very professional right now. Let me focus. So you need to find out more about Dr. Amanda. Go to her website. Doctor, are we going to? What was that? We're having technical difficulties. So don't worry about that. If anything happens, we'll just come right back on as soon as we can. And what's really, really cool about all of this is Dr. Amanda, she helps other people build their homes, their mental homes, their business homes, their life homes. It's inside of you. And she helps you build that from the other side. She's a human structural engineer.
Yes, I love that. Perfect.
I love it, because what I found with the way you do things, the way I've learned to do things, everything's a system. Everything needs a structure, and you can build it as rigid as you want, but if you do, it's going to fall. And that's why it's so important to be, I say, give yourself some wiggle room. Those the plus minus variances in life. Give yourself wiggle room. You aren't perfect. No one is. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Right, Amanda? You made a lot of mistakes, right? You got up. You moved. Right? You can't get to where you are doing. Okay, if you get a chance, go look at her resume. It's huge and it's amazing, and I can't read it all because it's intensively amazing what Dr. Amanda has accomplished in her lifetime so far. You've got lots of things going on. And when we're going to go to break, and when we come back, I want to share the book that you have out and then talk more about that and then get into more of that side of your world. Okay. Would you mind with that?
Would not mind.
Okay. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back right after this break. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Michelle Mras, and you are watching Mental Shift. Now, the following list of TNC live streams are all being given to you in Philippine time, so adjust for yourself and what time zone you're in. We're inviting you to watch all of our shows either live or in replays, as in U-Turn, TNC The Talk, Awesome Day, The Home Buyer, The Puppet Stories, which are Mondays at 5:30 p.m., The Big Picture Mondays through Fridays at 7:15 p.m., The Millennial Voice Mondays at 8:30 p.m., Foreign Affairs Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m., HR Hotline Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at noon, Moving On Business, Well Home Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m., Money and More Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Philippine time and 5:30 a.m. USA, and CyberNext. Now check out our page on Facebook or YouTube, or both, by searching hashtag TNC Now. Enjoy these inspiring shows because we made them for you. And welcome back. So I would like to share a little bit more about Dr. Amanda because she has several books, and I'd like to bring her back on and then show her image of all the books she has out so far, because there are more coming. Hello, there you are.
There.
Are you ready to explain your books?
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. The one that I was thinking about first is the one working on space shuttles, astronomical leadership. Be amazed at who you are. I tell my story of having my conversation with the Space Shuttle Columbia, the commander, and how I promised him that I would get him back home safely to his 2 kids and wife, and then how I heard that the shuttle had exploded by getting a phone call from my mom, and then how I dealt with that, being a leader of propulsion systems and being one of the ones responsible for space shuttle launch. So that's one that it just really is very, very near and dear to me. I have others. And what I'm doing now is writing books with others like you are doing, Michelle, where I have multiple authors. We have some of them on tonight. Women in leadership, moving beyond the challenges and just dealing with challenges. And I have other ones, ABCs of leadership, where we talk about leadership in such a phenomenal way, where we have people that are leaders in the community, leaders in their respective businesses, entrepreneurs, who talk about what it takes to be a good leader, what it takes to be a good mentor. So I have several books out there. Soar to Your Destiny is one of the ones that's on the screen, and that's for young people, to teenagers and those that are in their early 20s that are not really clear what it is that they feel their purpose to do. And then so what I challenge them to do is to take your mind and to take your heart, and wherever they connect, that points to purpose, and then that allows the person to soar. And so I believe it's very, very important to start thinking about it as early as possible and getting your thoughts and getting your heart connected, and then identifying goals to help you get to where you need to be. I think that's amazing.
That's fantastic. It's never too late, right? Never too early and never too late. And you can find more about all the books and the collaboration books she's got coming too at www.amandagoodson.com. Okay? You want to go to that. That's her email. But if you just go to amandagoodson.com, you can see everything at once. And that way she doesn't get inundated by email. It could be fun, but it could be tasking. Now you mentioned about you promised the shuttle Challenger, the commander, that you would get him home.
Of the Columbia, yeah, we were in Washington, D.C. At a safety conference for NASA safety leaders, and my job had in part with safety. And we decided we would go to lunch together. People, they went and did their thing. We went to lunch together, and we were just talking and sharing. And he was telling me how he was training for that particular launch. The launch went about a year and a half after that because they have to go through extensive training, as most people know. And so, I told him, okay, so that's my job. I'm over propulsion systems, and we're responsible for the first 8.5 minutes of the shuttle launch. And so he talked about his family and everything. And I told him, since I'm responsible for that, that we'll get him up there safely, and then we'll get him back to the ground safely so we can get to his family. And I remember he said to me, you know, in such an endearing way, Amanda, do your best, because he knew that I wasn't the ultimate authority in that.
Yeah.
From the standpoint, I couldn't control all of that, but he told me to do my best.
That's beautiful and bittersweet. So what's behind you? What's that?
That is a space shuttle, and it has all the elements on it, and it just makes me think about it. And then up above me, it's a mural of the world that we know, that the space shuttle goes elliptically around the Earth that we know it, in a way that explores the universe from a different perspective. And I remember astronauts, when they look on the Earth, you can see this blue ring. If you look at pictures of the Earth that are taken, and that blue ring is our atmosphere and the air we breathe. So I think about that when I think about looking at that mural, when I think about looking at the space shuttle. And then also my light has significance too, because we're a light in the world. We're a source of hope, and we shouldn't be hidden. Our purpose shouldn't be hidden. And then the gifts that we bring and that we offer to humanity needs to be exposed.
Yes. I'm still kind of stuck on the commander saying, do your best.
Yeah, he did. And that just rang so true to me when, I got the call, we needed to lock down the data, that the shuttle, I got the official call that the shuttle had pretty much exploded all over Texas. And I remember saying, not on my watch, this can't be. I made a promise. I told the commander that I would bring him home safely. And I felt that it was a lot of my responsibility, because I made that promise to him. Even though, I don't govern the shuttle, but in my mind, I thought I owed that to him.
Well, but you did your best.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he knew. Don't you put anything major like that on your shoulders. Do your best. And you know you did your best, and your team did.
Absolutely. We did the best that we knew at the time. And we had a real good team, an elite group of professionals that came together to make those decisions. We had seen some popcorning where parts of the belly of the shuttle would come off because of some foam hitting it. And so we had done assessments, had done reliability assessments, and we thought we were good to go. And everybody had given the thumbs up. And what happens, Michelle, when I've worked probably like 33, 34 shuttle launches on console, given the go. 9 minutes before it's time for that shuttle to go up, when we were flying shuttles, I would hear over the intercom, I'd have my earphones on, Marshall Space Flight Center, safety and mission assurance, are you a go for launch? And I was one of the ones on the team that got to say go for launch. And so my job was for propulsion systems, and just an amazing opportunity. And to do that for day launches and night launches for over 33 launches was incredible.
That it's just incredible to be in your presence, knowing that you've done that kind of thing. It's so, that in itself is inspiring. Now, the other one, I'm going to ask you, it may be a hard question for you. What mental shift occurred with you after that shuttle blew up?
I was talking to another shuttle commander, another astronaut, and, we were just having this conversation. He says, do you feel that you were responsible for that? And I told him, yeah, in part. And he says, well, what you got to do is understand it's part of the plan. We still got science. We still had a lot of technology that we learned from that. And then, rise above it. And so that's the thing that helped me to shift, to lead above it, to live above it, and to rise above it, and know that I was part of something that was really, really great. And now it's time to transition. It's time to shift, and time to pivot to another place. Reach back, help someone else, and show them how to move beyond their challenges to get to an amazing destiny.
Amen. And that's really what I wanted you to share about that, because there are people who are watching right now or watching in the replay doing, this bad thing happened and it has marked me for life and I can never move past it. You had an international incident happen, quote unquote, on your watch, as we would say. And you were able to say, you know what? Let me help other people move past this kind of a pain, and or less or more, whatever it may be, because it's all in here. I mean, I'm sure you could have tortured yourself for eons about this.
You
But
know what? You know
not,
what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, but it's not what you should have done, and I'm glad you didn't, because you wouldn't be doing what you're doing now.
Right. You know, bottom line is I chose to live. And that is a choice. And so what I offer to people and what I'd like to invest in is in your life. And so choose to live and choose to live well and forgive yourself continually and forgive others. And then walk down that path that is set for you, because there's a path for everyone, Michelle. And there, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, there's a creative genius within everybody. And it's going to be different depending on what it is that's your purpose to do. And I just believe as you continue to draw on your strengths, continue to leverage your weaknesses by learning or doing or augmenting it with having friends and other people, but augment your strengths to help you to be and to lead you to be the person. It's an investment in yourself, making a choice.
Yes. Okay. So those of you who are watching or watching the replay, did you just hear that major drop of like pearls of wisdom that was just brought to you? It's that whole, I'm going to go back to your engineering. There's a wiggle room that you must give yourself in life. The world is not structured so rigid that everything happens perfectly. You need to forgive yourself. Did you hear Dr. Amanda say that? Forgive yourself every day. You are human. You are allowed to make mistakes. I give you permission. Dr. Amanda, you give him permission?
Yes.
We give you permission to make mistakes and forgive yourself and move from it. Grow from it. Keep going. If you find yourself stuck and you can't move because you think you've made a mistake or something bad happened, or the universe is after you, God's after you, whatever is going through your mind, listen, go back and listen to this story that Dr. Amanda just shared and realize bad things happen. Sometimes it's completely out of our control. Let yourself live. She chose to live. Choose life and a happier life. Move past your pain. I'm just so thrilled to have you with me and to be able to share what you've gone through, because it's monumental in my book. I remember watching every shuttle go up and wishing that one day I could be up there, and then being told, you're a girl and you're a little brown girl from the islands. Are you kidding? And I thought I was stretching just going into engineering. I thought that was pretty cool of me. And here you are. And you went to NASA, and now you're helping other people. And that's the power. I'm a big believer in our purposes eventually, no matter what we do, whatever avenue, is to give in some way back. Like you said, reach and pull people back, pull them forward, help them through their life, their business, through your consulting, through your training. And now through all the books that you're writing, and so you're even going to the youth, and then you have all these collaborative books that are coming out too. You need to track Dr. Amanda. Go to amandagoodson.com and just track her. Find the books, read up on them, because she's got a lot coming out of her. She's learned a lot in her lifetime, and she's got such a compassionate, loving heart, if you haven't figured that out yet. And there's not a lot of people like that in the world. And that you are like, you're on the board of directors of the Advancing of Minority Interest in Engineering too, right?
I just rolled off, but yes, it was chair of the board, and it was really fascinating.
Yeah, so she's got her hands in a lot of things, and she's reaching to help and guide and bring you to the next level so you can be the best version of you, to grow through your pain, grow through whatever growth process. Remember, growth is not easy, okay? So if you think life is easy, you're not growing. Pain is part of growth. It's part of living. It's part of being a human. So move through it. Listen, follow Dr. Amanda. Go to amandagoodson.com. Find her books for sure. You can find them all on your website. Right? So amandagoodson.com. And if you want to be really, really direct, just write her. But I think you should just go to the website and look for the books. So I think I might. No, I won't go to commercial yet. I'm going to give us 5 more minutes. Would you like to share a little bit more about why you got into books? I mean, because that engineering, books.
You know, I had my mom ask me that. Why are you writing so many books? I have so much in me, and it's part of what we do to help people, because that will make an indelible impression on people for the longest period of time. You know, so you ask yourself the question, how can I add value for the longest period of time, for the greatest amount of people, for the longest, and for the greater good, and for the, like I said, for the longest period of time. And so I had in my heart, I started writing affirmations. And, you know, I am statements. I am the best. I am amazing. I am healthy. And I started writing those. And then I said, why don't I share? So then I wrote them for young people in the community and in my church. And so then I wrote more and I wrote more. Then I said, you know, young people don't have enough to read and they don't know affirmations. What do I do when I'm angry? So here's what I do with that. When I'm angry, then I choose not to be angry anymore. Here's how I handle when I can't sleep. Here's how I handle when I'm bullied. So that's how it started. And then I had written other ones about my experiences because I wanted to write about my experiences. And then so I documented those. And then next thing you know, it grew into a book and grew into a book. I met people that had written books. And I was like, how did you do that? And I want to do that. And that's how I did.
That's excellent. So now, Dr. Amanda just shared a little bit more. If there's a book in you that you feel like you really want to write and you never do, you just, no, maybe I'm not a writer. Oh, maybe that the inside voice tells you can't do it. Go do it. You hear, just start writing things down a little bit at a time, put them together. Next thing you know, you're going to have a book. I mean, get the story out of you. The story that needs to come out is the one that keeps nagging you. It's the one you keep saying, I wish I could share that because people could really do it. Nowadays, it's so easy to write. And someone I know here is a publisher. So nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yeah. So get your story out. I truly believe that those of us, when we go through life and something impactful like that happens in our life, and we keep saying we want to share it, that thought is not yours. That thought is something far bigger than any of us that says you experienced it, now share it so other people can make it through too. It's almost an obligation to write it down. Even if you write it down and only share it with your immediate family, at least you're helping your immediate family get through whatever you made it through. It's a gift to have survived what you survived. And Helene says she's writing a book. So yes, Helene, you write. You get your story out because someone needs to hear it. Someone needs to learn from you what you went through too. All of you, you've got a book. Go ahead, write it down.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that I've distracted you, I need to get to my next break. And when we come back, Dr. Amanda, we'll talk about, what major mental shift that you experienced, that you have something you'd like to share with the audience for them to keep with them so that when they're finding themselves in a dark time or in a bad spot, they know what you use to get out. We'll be right back after this commercial. Please don't leave us. We'll be right back after this. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mental Shift. My name is Michelle Mras, and if you're watching this live, and I know you are, share this right now because someone needs to hear what we're talking about today. Now, the listed shows that you're about to see are all given in Philippine time, so please catch our original shows either live or in replay. Healthline, Couple Goals, Win Within Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m., Market Leader, TNC Express Thursdays at 11 a.m., YOLA Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., Negosyo at Home Fridays at noon, Tech U, TNC Marketplace Fridays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m., COVID Stories Saturday at 10:30 a.m., Realty Realities, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Danny Art Show, After Shift, Women at Work, The Family Business, Usapang Beauty, The Fourth Project, and also catch our TNC specials, One Day, TNC Arena, TNC PressCon, and TNC Town Hall on Saturdays at 7 p.m., co-hosted by the TNC founders, Lloyd and Apple, and Town Hall is where we talk to you, our valued audience. So join that and talk to them and give some feedback on how the shows are doing and what you're looking for and what you like. It's never too late for a mental shift. That's the show you're watching right now with Michelle Mras. That is every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time in the United States, Wednesdays and Fridays at 9:30 a.m. in the Philippines. Thank you so much for joining me today and every time you join us. So for more upcoming shows, follow the hashtag TNC Now on Facebook and YouTube, and that way you never miss any of the shows. So welcome back to Mental Shift. Now, something I want to make sure you all heard, there is a book in every one of us. And the reason I say that is we've all gone through some sort of pain that we've made it through. One, I say it's a book because we need to remember the pains we've made it through to realize that we've made it through tough things before. So when the next time something bad, terrible, hard comes through your world and you're like, I can't do it, you can reflect back on what you know you did. I made it through that. I didn't think I would, but I did. So therefore, I can make it through this next thing. Yes, we all have a book inside of us. And I need to say, I have to sing something because it keeps going through my mind. I'll build a stairway to paradise with a new step every day. I'm gonna get there at any price. Stand aside, I'm on my way. And why I wanted to sing that, and I'll bring Dr. Amanda back on, is because everything we do is a step towards what we really want in our world, our goals, our love, our higher being, whatever you believe in. We take steps. Our lives, our challenges that we have are the steps in our lives that bring us to our next level. Don't be afraid to step up. Just don't step down. Where's Dr. Amanda? There you are.
Hey there.
But yes, stairway to paradise. You just keep stepping up, keep moving, and show people the way. They don't have to take the same staircase, but they can walk, they can climb. And by giving and sharing more of your books and your experiences, and for those of you watching and listening, your experiences and what you've learned, you help build steps for other people to follow so they know that when they're in a dark place, there's a way out. No matter what the circumstances, no matter how difficult it may be, there's a way. So, Dr. Amanda, we have I think we have like 20 minutes left. I think, if I'm doing the math right. I think we have 15 minutes left. What would you like to share with the audience that you believe that would help them through mental shifts or trials? What's coming to your heart to share with them?
So I remember my son was 5 years old. And so a 5-year-old, their frame of reference is totally different. And he came to me, he goes, Mama, why do caterpillars turn to butterflies? And I said, what? He goes, Mom, why do caterpillars turn to butterflies? And I says, because they're meant to soar. You know, you may be in a caterpillar stage, you know, and things are just really, it just seems like they're not working out for you. And then you may be in the next phase. You may be a chrysalis. You may be coming out of a cocoon. And you know what happens with a butterfly? Once it starts to come out of its shell or out of its place, it starts looking at its wings. And I could imagine that butterfly said, "Wow, I never thought that I was this beautiful." But when you go through the process of the pain, the hurt, the frustration, and you allow yourself and you make the choice to live, then you become this beautiful butterfly. And do you know a butterfly can never go back to being a caterpillar? You know, a caterpillar is always a caterpillar, but a butterfly can never go back. And so when you see this transformation, then what that speaks to me is that it speaks to how, as you're transformed, how beautiful that you can become and how beautiful you are. And it starts with right here, these 6 to 8 inches between your ears, where you think that you can. And once you think that you can, then you can think that I can do more. I can do more. Like Michelle was talking about, the steps. They help you to get to a higher place. And it helps you to get to an amazing, phenomenal place that you're meant to be in. You know, people go through crisis sometimes. And when you look at crisis, some people look at crisis as bad because we just came through a crisis all over the world. And there are some cultures, they see crisis as opportunities. And so with the mental shift and your transforming, see challenges as an opportunity for innovation, an opportunity for creativity, an opportunity to be better or to make someone else better. And so that's what I believe without a shadow of a doubt. And one last thing, I was taught early, um, I say early, not so early, that we only use 10 to 15% of our brain. I was amazed with that. How did the scientists figure that out? And so what I was going to do is I was going to be the unique person that stretched their brain more than others, and learn, shift, learn, shift, and then you'll find yourself at a higher place where you never thought you would be.
Exactly. I mean, and I think that's the other reason I clicked with you so well. I mean, I was told you're missing 4 areas of your brain. How are you talking and walking? And it's that learning, that shifting. I stopped focusing on what I can't do. Let's focus on what gifts were left. Let's build on those. Okay. Well, how can I build on them? Well, I can't do this, but I can't write, but I can listen. I can speak. So I'll record it. I wrote my first book on a recorder and then let something else transcribe it because I couldn't get my brain to write. So, I mean, there's always a way when you're breaking through that chrysalis, and when you're coming out of it, it's not always, rainbows and butterflies and easy. It's you come out and you look out all your stars. If you look at a butterfly that comes out, it's translucent and it's like, what the heck's going on here? And it's as they're drying that all the colors and everything comes in, and they realize, I'm this. So even when you're breaking through, there's going to be a lot of crap. There's going to be things that don't look right, but it's your beauty. It's what comes out of you. It's what becomes who you truly are. You have to break from that shell. I love that analogy.
You know, you should know in your soul, meaning your inner core being, that you can do better or you can do well. Some people have the self-talk, Michelle, where they say they can't or they say they shouldn't. You know what? We shouldn't let other people define us or things that we didn't do well to define us, because that's not what defines you. It's what you can do. It's not what you didn't do, not what you can't do, but what you can do. It defines you, and it creates a house for you to live in emotionally and mentally. And so look at the house you're living in. You're creating it by how you talk to yourself. You're creating it about, how you allow other people to talk to you. You create it by what you look at, what you hear, and what you taste, what you smell. Your senses help to create this person that I believe that you are today. If you look at the things that you've done and what you've listened to and what you said, that's creating who you are now. So then if you change your conversation with yourself, you change what you say, what you listen to, what you expose yourself to, and then you start becoming that. What you're doing now is determining what you'll be 5 years from now. It takes 5 years for an expert to emerge, 4 years for college, 5 years for an expert, so to speak. And so what you're doing is you're creating that new you now, or that shifted you now, or that reinvigorated new you now. You're doing it now.
Yes, every moment. Or as I like to say, I guide people to stop apologizing for what they're not. And when I say not what they're not, stop apologizing for what you didn't get, or not passing the 10th grade math test, or not dating Joey or Amanda or whatever you're holding back. Stop apologizing for what you're not. Embrace who you are. And that takes going inside. Figure out who you are. Sometimes we need a coach. Sometimes you need a mentor. Sometimes you need a counselor, whatever. You need someone, if you can't get it out yourself, to talk to. Stop apologizing for what you're not. Embrace who you are today. Be the best version of you every day. Improve upon you yesterday. And be so unapologetically. And that's really the power of stepping in to being that full butterfly. Stop apologizing. Be. If you don't like who you are, then change it. If you don't, well, I do this, or I smoke, then stop. It's a choice. I need something because I want to do this. Then go get the certificate you think you need. But I believe it's here, and it's here, and it will come out when you allow it to stop being pulled back from all your self-doubts. If Dr. Amanda, as a young girl, growing up, and listening to her teacher, we wouldn't have this woman sitting here right in front of us right now, changing the world. Well, the world is waiting for you. Whatever piece you're giving. I'm not saying you have to be a NASA person and write books. No, you could be the best version of you, being the best mom by raising the best kids. You can be the best brother, the best dad. You could be the best at anything. Stop holding yourself back from what you really want to be. Don't let your past define you. You create you. You know who you are, like Dr. Amanda said. And I'm starting to preach, so you might want to hold me back there, Dr. Amanda. Save the audience. But yeah, I know personally that I allowed my past to define me. I allowed silly things like TV shows to tell me where I was supposed to be. And so it's very important that you look at what shapes you, as Dr. Amanda said. What's shaping you? What are you allowing to shape you? What kind of movies do you watch? What kind of books do you read? What kind of people do you hang around? If you're wondering why you aren't moving to your next level, look who's around you. Is it your surroundings that's keeping you thinking that you can't? Or is it you? Or are you accepting what the environment is telling you? If Dr. Amanda listened to her environment and not her heart, you wouldn't have this woman who's changing the world today. What are you neglecting the world from by playing small? Stop it. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now.
I love it. Excellent.
Okay, Dr. Amanda, okay, you have to finish because I talked too much this time. Give us words of wisdom to finish off the show, and then we'll say good night to everybody.
So what I'd like to say is follow your passion and reach for it with all of your might. Reach in for innovation, introspection, and a path for you. Reach out to friends and family that can help you and hold you up along the way. Reach up to mentors and to coaches and to sponsors for people to show you the path and the way in a way that you've never thought about it. And then reach back and pull somebody else up along the way. And when you reach for your passion, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, you'll become a person that you never thought you could be, doing things that you never thought you could do in a way that you thought could never be done. So reach in, reach out, reach up, reach back. You'll be amazed and surprised at how you will transform. So do the shift.
Thank you so much. Please, those of you who are out here watching, listening, share this link, share this show, and then share Dr. Amanda's website, amandagoodson.com. It's very easy. She's got plenty of books you could pick from and learn from and grow from. Share it with your friends, because that's what life is about, growing and learning from other people so that we don't repeat the same mistakes again. We can grow and become the best versions of ourselves by growing and learning from other people too. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dr. Amanda. I mean, I really am truly thrilled to have you and honored to know you and have you in my world and to see what we do together in the future, because you have not even scratched the surface of what you're about to be doing. In my book, you've got bigger things coming. And so that's what's happening in my mind. And so I'm so excited to be witness to that. And I invite all of you who are watching and are watching the replay, you want to follow Dr. Amanda Goodson, because more is coming from her that we can't even fathom right now that it's happening. And it's exciting to know that it's coming. So be the best version of yourselves. And share this replay. Share it, because people need to hear this. And I think one more thing, what was I going to say? Our mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Maya Angelou. Go be the best version of you. Share a smile. Lift someone up. Follow your heart. You know what you want. Go be the best version of you. And so until the next time on Mental Shift, have a wonderful week. But join us every Tuesday and Thursday night on 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, or Wednesdays and Fridays in the Philippines at 9:30 a.m. And be sure to check out amandagoodson.com and check out her books, because there's so much to learn from this wonderful woman. Have a good night, everybody. Until next time. My name is Michelle Mras, and you've been watching Mental Shift. Thank you.